Abortion funds have been around for years and years. The primary reason we exist is because people can't afford abortion coverage. The government has abandoned this service as healthcare, has refused to acknowledge that abortion care is a critical part of the wider spectrum of reproductive health care services. And because of the Hyde Amendment, which was enacted in 1976, there's no federal coverage of abortion care. And in Texas, they have also banned any kind of public funding for abortion. And 2 sessions ago, they also banned private insurance coverage for abortion care. So what that means is that people have to pay out of pocket for their care, and abortions can cost anywhere from $500 to thousands of dollars, upwards of $10,000s. And that doesn't even include the expenses associated with travel, childcare, lodging, foregoing wages for work, and other kinds of logistical expenses that people don't often think about, because you shouldn't have to think about these things when you're trying to access basic health care, including abortion care.
Lilith Fund historically it's been it would be considered a service organization, but we are now starting to grow out our organizing model and program, because we know that while it's great that abortion funds exist to provide and fill in the gap that the government leaves, we know that eventually we should not have to exist. People should just have free healthcare, and that includes abortion care. And so that's part of the reason why we have started organizing with our callers, with our supporters, community donors, because we know that it's going to require systemic change for us to eventually have to hopefully not need to exist in the capacity that we do anymore.
There's a lot of challenges. I think one of the things that comes to my mind instantly is how hard it is to remain true to our values when we don't always align with everyone that's in support of our work. People who are with us, right? But there's always more to push the envelope, right? There's always more we can do to strengthen our understanding and analysis of what's really at stake in this work. And especially when it comes to the realities of people's lives, people who are most impacted by abortion restrictions, it's really hard to do that education with people who might be with us but have a lot of privilege, especially when white supremacy, transphobia, homophobia still is such an ingrained part of even the most progressive spaces. And so I think for us as an organization that centers the framework of reproductive justice, we're learning and growing in that way. And we're also working really hard to ensure that our community and our supporters and our donors and our volunteers are also growing with us. And it's something that our movement is constantly up against, right? Because we have to keep growing, we have to keep understanding everyone's different perspectives and how marginalization affects people differently, and how important it is to make an equitable and just space for everyone, right? And so pushing back against mainstream white feminist lens and frameworks can really be hard in the reproductive health rights and justice movements. But nonetheless, when you look at who's having abortions and who is calling our hotlines and who needs the support, and whose, again, entire lives are at stake, we have to do better about our messaging, our narratives, our strategies, our organizing work, our attempts to be inclusive, everything from language to the way that we hold events. All of this is so critical. And especially if we want to see people of color leading in this work, women of color, low-income women, people who have had abortions, we want them to be forefronted in this movement. We've got to keep making changes so that everyone feels like they have a home here, because this needs to be a political home for everyone, but we need to center people of color and people most impacted. And I think traditionally in our spaces, and we're not perfect either, we all have work to do. And I think that is the most ongoing challenge that I think we're all charged with, but it's our duty to keep transforming and to be better for everyone.